Macho, Ryan.
It's all part of the experience.
This is an experience tonight.
Coming off 8 2/3 no-hit innings in Baltimore, going against 3-time Cy Young Award winner Justin Verlander tonight. And then tomorrow, the Dodgers 3-time Cy Young Award winner Clayton Kershaw against Logan Webb. Sunday, it will be Tyler Glasnow for the Dodgers, Robbie Ray going for the Giants. So it is strength against strength this weekend. Both teams have really good starting pitching. And in the history of this great rivalry, Nomar, we've seen it Koufax and Marichal, Kershaw and Bumgarner. We've seen a lot of great matchups, and we're going to see more of the same this weekend.
And this is what you want down the stretch of the season. We talked about September being playoff baseball. You got your rivalry here. You got the Giants, Dodgers, who want to see good starting pitching. Both these teams are playing for the postseason to get in there. The Giants have really come on as of late, really strong. And you got some greats and future Hall of Famers lined up, too, to be on the mound. So that's exciting as well. So as a fan, you want to see this. You want to see these two teams go out there and compete against each other. And you want to see really great baseball.
And you have the understanding as a player, especially a position player, runs may be hard to come by in this series, so you got to be able to manufacture runs, hit with runners in scoring position, and on the defensive end, catch the ball. Do not give the Giants extra outs. You do that, you should position yourself to win these ball games, especially with our pitching matchup. We know Clayton Kershaw, he's had a lot of success there in San Francisco, loves pitching in that stadium.
All right, well, on the final Sunday before the All-Star break, Yoshinobu Yamamoto shut out the Giants for 7 innings in San Francisco, and tonight he's coming off his near no-hitter in Baltimore. Let's head back to San Francisco. Kirsten joins us again live with more on Yamamoto. Hi, Kirsten.
Hi, John. Yeah, Yoshinobu, he has been excellent all year long, but really when you look at what he's been doing as of late, he's just looking to keep it going. You mentioned his last outing in Baltimore, in which he threw a no-hitter, 8 2/3. We were hoping to see him go all the way, but ultimately giving up a home run to end his outing. And unfortunately, the Dodgers taking that loss on that night. So for him, it's a matter of just, let's get back to it. Let's keep it going, because he has been excellent. Dave Roberts talked about what he's been seeing from him as of late. And he also talked about this matchup with the Giants, in which there's a lot on the table for both teams.
I expect what he's been doing. I'd love to say I expect a no-hitter. Yoshinobu's been great. He's just going to go out there and he's just competing his tail off. He's pitching great. He's competing. Just really happy for him, and expect him to pitch well tonight.
Made of how the Giants have transformed into a contender over the recent weeks or month, and even Justin Verlander, who you'll see tonight, has turned around his season a little bit.
Not surprising, especially this year in baseball. There's just so much volatility with teams. I remember talking to Justin last time we were here. He said he worked through some things and figured some things out. He said he's going to go on a heater, and he sure as heck has. As far as the team, they're catching it. Devers is playing good baseball. They got Chapman back, and they got some mojo going. So it's good for them to continue to keep fighting and playing, and it's going to be a fun series. And we got these guys 7 games in 1 week or in 10 days, so it's going to be fun.
So first, just with facing Justin Verlander, the last time the Dodgers saw him was back in 2023 when he was playing for the Mets. So not only is he looking to set the tone for the Giants, this is a team in which they're only a game and a half back for that final wild card spot. So they are very much playing for something in this series. For the Dodgers, they're looking to continue what they were able to do over this past week, almost at the weekend, but earlier this week against the Rockies, in which they were playing just complete Dodgers baseball, from the starting pitching to the offense to the bullpen getting back on track. So for the group here, those guys are just looking to continue with that. It's going to be an insane atmosphere. I can tell you that fans are already filing in for this one. So, of course, it's going to be intense. It's going to be a good one. But the hope is for the Dodgers to keep not only their lead in the division with the Padres, but also just keep some really good baseball moving forward, guys.
This is the way Dodgers-Giants games should be. An electric atmosphere tonight up in San Francisco. Kirsten, thank you very much. Yoshinobu Yamamoto threw a career-high 112 pitches in that near no-hitter last time out in Baltimore. Had his heart broken, Jerry, with 2 outs in the 9th inning. But how does he follow up what was his best start as a big leaguer?
You know what? If Juan Uribe was on this ball club, he would turn to Yoshi and say, you know what? You could do better. 1 more out. So that's what he needs to go out there and continue pitching the way he's pitched and hopefully puts himself in position to do it again. This kid has been outstanding. He is one of the best pitchers in all of baseball, our ace, and hopefully he does continue throwing that fastball with command and conviction to go along with that nasty breaking ball, that devastating split. Again, San Francisco is familiar with him, but continue making your pitches.
How do you follow up a near no-hitter? You throw a no-hitter. But at the same time, what Yamamoto's been able to do, I look at it from a hitter's perspective, where when you are swinging the bat really well, you're always trying to keep that feel. Not always at the results. It's about the feeling you have when you step into the batter's box, when you're taking your batting practice, to get that feel back as you're going into the game. And for a pitcher and for Yamamoto, it's the same thing. He's been having an amazing feel start after start, being able to make adjustments. So before the game, he's trying to capture that feel again going into the game. And as the game is going on, to try to capture that feel as well. See what's working for him, see what's not, make sure he has his release point, all the mechanics working well. That's what we've seen from him, is not only adjustments, but just his ability to go out there and pitch, attack hitters, get ahead, and get the job done.
Back-to-back games with double-digit strikeouts for Yamamoto, and try to do the same tonight in San Francisco. Shohei Ohtani will not be on the mound this weekend in the Bay Area, but he will be leading things off tonight in a great first-inning matchup between a pair of future Hall of Famers when the Big Show faces Justin Verlander. Plus, the stars on both sides have been shining here in September, from Mookie and Shohei for the Dodgers to Chapman and Adames on the other side. We'll discuss the big bats heading into tonight's series opener. And Mookie carrying the load for the Dodgers atop that lineup. Shohei hitting .344. The OPS over 1,200. Mookie's batting .385. 4 home runs, 15 RBIs. And on the other side, Matt Chapman and Willy Adames have found a power surge, leading to a 6-3 record so far in the month of September. The Giants' offense had really struggled for much of this season, but they have found their stride recently, scoring double-digit runs 5 times in the last 14 games. Nomar, they've become a pretty dangerous lineup up there in San Francisco.
That's why they've gained 6 games in the wild card race.
It is the Dodgers who are the favorites tonight at Oracle Park. The over-under for tonight's game set at 7.5. Total runs scored, so keep that in mind as you're watching tonight's game. We're getting you inside the broadcast booth. It's time for the change-up. This is brought to you by Speedy Oil Change and Auto Service. Mike Krukow and Dwayne Kuiper on the call. And Kuip, this series, obviously a rivalry series, very intense. I think for the fan bases, that's fair to say. What is it like for the player? What's it like in the player's perspective?
I mean, it's real. I mean, the rivalry is definitely real across the board, from front offices to fans to players to broadcasters in those next 2 booths over there. We don't like those guys at all. Kind of. Well, no, we don't. So, yeah, the whole thing is real. And but Mike has always made this point, and it's really true. The rivalry really only works if both teams are good. And in this particular case, as we sit here in the middle of now September, both teams are good.
Kruk, Justin Verlander's on the mound tonight. He has really pitched well after that kind of lopsided line that he had in San Diego. He's on a current 12-inning scoreless streak. How important and how great is it for the Giants that a guy with his 10-year repertoire experience is setting the tone in Game 1 tonight?
I think it's awesome. He totally understands this challenge. He's got a chip on his shoulder that is it's bigger than the bat that Matt Chapman's taken into the game tonight. And I love that about a guy. He's in his 20th year, and he's burning hot to get in this game. He's been hot. And his opponent tonight, Yamamoto, has been hot. And, the thing about playoff games is that all 9 innings are like 9 ninth innings. When you play in this rivalry, and this September, Verlander's a big piece of it right now, you've got to approach this game like it's 9 ninth innings. And that's how important this game is. And if you're a player, you live for it. And if you're a warhorse in his 20th year, you still have something to prove. And I love that about Verlander.
Hey, Kai, this Giants lineup has faced Yamamoto 2 times this season. They got him the first time. Yamamoto had a solid outing the last time. But this lineup looks a little bit different from those 2 times. What do the Giants got to do to attack Yamamoto today?
Well, when the Giants roughed up Yamamoto in L.A., remember, Casey Schmidt hit a grand slam. that would be a good plan if you can hit a grand slam. But let's assume that that's not going to happen. Then you got to do all the little things. You got to bunt. You got to steal some bases, put on a hit and run, but you got to catch the ball. And I know Mike stresses that a lot, but you got to catch the ball. If you don't, then you're going to be in trouble.
Kruk, Kipe, thanks for the insight. Let's get a look at the matchup on the Hill. This brought to you by Wendy's. Now, there have been some adjustments made to the rotation, and this is how you start to see how important this series is. So Bob Melvin making some tweaks. You've got Justin Verlander going tonight. Saturday, it's going to be the Giants ace, Logan Webb, and then on Sunday, following it up with Robbie Ray. If that doesn't speak volumes to you, I don't know what will. Bob Melvin was asked about why he decided to adjust the Giants starting rotation just moments ago. Let's listen in.
Well, look, we're at a point in time in the season where, you give guys the extra day every time you have an off day, and now we're at a point in time where it's time to push them a little bit. Pretty simple. We're going to have to cover a couple games in Arizona, but, all things considered, we want to get these guys out on the mound as many times as we can, and doing this allows them to pitch at least two of them one more time at the end of the season as well.
All right, George, what do you make of the rotation adjustment that Bob Melvin made?
I love it. I mean, I think this is what you need to do. This is at the point in the season where you want your best pitchers to pitch as often as they can. And that off day yesterday was incredibly helpful for the Giants' rotation because you keep Logan Webb on 5 days with him going tomorrow, and then you keep Robbie Ray on 5 days again. And the way that it's going to work itself out is they're going to pitch again in L.A. against the Dodgers, and that's exactly how you want it. But this is a premier series on the pitching side this really weekend, Romy. I mean, you have Verlander tonight, Logan Webb, Robbie Ray. You just saw the stats right there. Webby and Ray have thrown the second and third most pitches in the big leagues this year, and these guys are gnawing at the bit to get out there and get some W's and get this team into that third wildcard spot, Romy.
And this perfect time to make a move of this kind, of this sort, more so for the fact that you got your three top starters, healthy starters, on there facing your number one team in your division, your number one rival in the history of your organization. You look in the situation where they're at in the standings, the importance of this series, and now you got your three-headed monster, in a sense, going into facing the juggernaut of the division. So these are teams that both need to win games right now. The Giants, I feel, need to win a little bit more, and I think they're hungry and want to win a little bit more. So perfect time to give your team a better chance to win with your best three guys on the mound.
Yeah, and Justin Verlander making the start tonight. He has thrown 12 scoreless innings consecutive, 12 consecutive scoreless innings. This is a look at his numbers over his last 9 starts. Now, Verlander, as you know, he's had an up and down season. Now, early in the season, he was dealing with some injury. He has come back, and over the last 2 months has been lights out for the Giants. He's, of course, had some bad luck this season, which is why his win-loss record isn't what it should be. But Justin Verlander is locked in right now. He's a guy that's got a ton of experience, as you mentioned.
I like how much more direct towards home plate he's being. If you guys remember, we did a segment when he was taking his hand out of his glove a little bit earlier because he felt that he was behind in his timing. He's no longer doing that because that timing feels like it did in the past. He's turning his body around his head and not pulling off the ball anymore. That's why everything has been so much more crisp. The breaking ball has had the bite down to it. He brought back the vintage Reebok spikes, going back to old Superman, Justin Verlander. And I love it, and I'm here for it. And look, 7 of his games this year he's left while leading that the team has given up the lead to. So all of his numbers on this season are a little bit skewed. And he's pitched incredibly well. For a guy in his 20th season of his major league career, coming out having this type of season, making his 26th or 27th start on the year, that's pretty impressive.
Well, let's flip the script and talk about Yoshinobu Yamamoto. As good as Justin Verlander's been, well, Yamamoto was 1 out shy of a no-hitter at Baltimore last Saturday. So that's how good he's been, and you're getting a look at the Dodgers, starting pitching since September 5th, which was the day before Yamamoto almost threw that no-hitter. The Dodgers lost that game. Sergio, so bad for them. Justin Verlander's had some bad luck, but that's really bad luck for Yamamoto. But he has been really, really good over the past few weeks.
Well, this is a Japanese sensation that when he came over, there was a lot of buzz. There were so many teams chasing him, and rightfully so. He's got 6 different types of movement. He's got a fastball, a 4-seam fastball that can run it up to 97, 98, which is impressive because if you were to see him physically, he's not the biggest-bodied pitcher in the league, but he's come in, He's well built. He goes in there and he knows how to pitch. He changes speeds really, really well. And something that he's done in the games that he's had losses in is he's just a little bit wild and, falling behind in counts and having to enter the strike zone with some straighter pitches and lesser movement. And I think that was something that the Giants were able to capitalize on when they faced him. I believe it was June. So I think that's something that they would look forward to today is just make him work, get some competitive at-bats and make him throw some extra pitches.
Yeah, this is the third time the Giants are going to see Yamamoto this season. Does that mean advantage hitters? Advantage hitters for the third time?
I think it's advantage hitters for sure, but look, that guy's 60 feet away, and he's got really nasty stuff, so hopefully he's off today.
We got to take a break. Coming up next, we'll show you the Giants lineup. It is game one of a 3-game series between the Dodgers and the Giants. We'll see you back in this post-game presser.
You guys have talked so much about how important every game is. How would you characterize this one, given the situation you guys are in and the opponent?
Yeah, I think we're really narrowing down our focus to trying to win a baseball game. And there's a lot going on around it. And obviously everybody knows where, the situation is, but it's been working for us. And that this is the only game that counts. Even after the game, the guys were continuing to push that narrative. We won tonight. Let's go out there tomorrow, in the same fashion and just focus on one game at a time. And like I said, it's worked pretty well for us for a little bit.
Obviously, the numbers for Bailey don't look great overall, but that's his third walk-off of the year, and just do it on a night like tonight. Just what makes him so adept at hitting in these types of situations?
He's pretty calm. The entire game, what he does behind the plate would kind of go along with that as well. So, he caught a heck of a game tonight, too. You get walked in that situation. You're trying to get a ball in the air. He knows he's probably going to try to elevate, and at times, he's been under the ball all year. A little bit more of a high ball hitter right-handed, but I think his intent was to try to get something in the air and know that if it's up at the top of the zone, I got to stay on top of it. That's exactly what happened.
Could you take us through the McRae sequence and first the decision and then just the way he made up for it?
Yeah, oh, you mean you got to send them there. I mean, they got to make a perfect throw, and they did. The way that game went, runs were tough to come by. So their guy throws well in the outfield. Once it got to that spot where it's the bases loaded, we're going to try to get our fastest runner in there. So as far as that decision went, it was the right decision. Obviously, he made a great throw, and he got thrown out. But for a guy that's been sitting around for quite some time to go out there and make that type of throw, right after that, there's plenty of things you could say were the plays of the game. I don't know that there was a bigger play in the game than that. That's a guy that's been sitting around for quite some time. Didn't even know he'd be in this game. Next thing you know, he's got a ball and he's got to make a perfect throw to third. So he works hard every day, and he's our best thrower on top of it.
We obviously got to see kind of the replay of just the foul tip and how Ben Rortvedt actually did control that ball, so that would have been the strikeout. When you look at just kind of what Tanner Scott has been dealing with, is it feeling like just things have been a little unlucky for him at the moment, especially with what you've been seeing?
I think so. Obviously we looked at the replay and it didn't hit the ground. So that's a big out. And so obviously, Tanner's, that ball I just looked at above the zone, 97, and he hits a homer. So with those two things that happen, it's unfortunate. The result certainly doesn't feel good, doesn't change anything. But, he's going through it right now, and we just got to continue to, try to give him confidence and, when the time's right, run him out there and expect good things to happen and expect it to turn.
Considering this is his first year with the organization and you guys are still learning kind of a lot about him, how are you seeing him just kind of handle this situation right now?
Like a pro. Certainly it doesn't feel good giving up runs in any capacity. He's one of our highest leverage guys, and so a lot of times, when it doesn't go well, the game is in the balance, and there's outside noise, but inside the clubhouse, guys believe in him. I believe in him, and we're going to need him. I mean, that's just the facts. We're going to need him, and but yeah, I think as far as doing his work, ready when called upon, whatever I ask of him, he's been a pro.
Were you talking about good to get him away from the leverage spot every once in a while, just to sort of reset, at least mentally, for Vince Fisher without he's throwing the ball recently?
Yeah, there's something to that. It was the first time that we had Blake do an up-down. He was doing the inning before, so I didn't want to push him any more than that. Then you've got some righties behind. So, yeah, I felt that, Tanner can handle Lee and then the righties behind him. But it's something, I got to certainly think about.
things are, the pennant race, the division race, can you afford to keep sending them that top there?
Well, I mean, you also, yeah, I mean, I think that tonight I showed that, you know, Dryer's earned some opportunities to pitch in high leverage. So I felt good about what he did tonight. And again, I talked about the Blake thing. But yeah, I mean, like I said, we're going to need him. You know, all these leverage spots, seems like we're playing a lot of tight ball games, and it seems like whether it's the 6th inning, the 7th inning, or the 10th inning, it just seems like they're all leverage. He had 3 days off, and I felt, you know, it was a time to run him out there.
This opportunity, does it feel like to lose both these games with gems that Yamamoto's kind of put out there the last couple times?
Yeah, those are missed opportunities. And I think the thing is that, you know, when you look at the bullpen, and certainly gets magnified, but, you know, when you score 1 run and you're in a tight ball game, then there's just no margin, and things get magnified, and that's tough on those guys. And so, you know, when you're playing these close ball games where any flare or any mistake costs you, that's a tough quality of life too. So it's not just those guys in the pen.
It was Verlander.
So much about trying to capitalize on some of the situational opportunities. And how did you feel like some of the at-bats in those spots were tonight?
We had opportunities to get a hit, to you know, drive some runs in. I thought Verlander was using his curveball a lot more than we'd seen. You know, I thought that there was some hard contact, and certainly we had some chances, certainly late, to you know, put up a quicker number. We just couldn't come through. I think so. I expect him to be in there tomorrow. Where he got hit on the forearm, he just felt unsure about throwing the ball across the diamond in a tight ball game. So I thought it was smart to get him out of there and get treated on it, and, you know, hopefully be back in there tomorrow. X-rays negative.
Just go by that quickly.
Yeah, I mean, we couldn't have asked for you know, anyone else to come to bat, and obviously they wanted to go after Mookie instead of facing Shohei, and unfortunately we just couldn't come up with a hit.
When Ben was thrown out, was that, you know, more the arm on McRae?
McRae made a great throw. McRae made a great throw. Yeah. Yep. Thank you.
It's starting to kind of feel like right now things are just a little unlucky with the foul tip. It was ultimately a strikeout. I'm not sure if you've seen the video just yet, but how much can that moment just change the situation and at bat everything?
Man, I gave up a bad pitch to a hitter that can hit fastballs and cost us again. Just tired of it happening, and it's miserable.
You obviously have been putting a lot of work in, making some different changes mechanically. Is that kind of one of those things you felt like that was the pitch selection there?
I mean, yeah. I mean, I don't know if I'm tipping or what, but I don't know. They're on everything, so it sucks.
Yeah, silly. Is it a bad location? Is that sort of an indication that sort of tells you maybe like they're sort of, he was looking for a fastball in that spot, or?
I mean, definitely it was a fastball above the zone, and I mean, maybe I'm tipping. I have no freaking clue right now.
How difficult to sort of deal with mentally some of the struggles this season, especially the fact that it kind of has been turning around recently?
Yeah, it's terrible. I mean, I'm having the worst year of my life, so it's, I don't know. I got to be better.
Did you still have like the confidence that things can turn when you try to kind of look under the hood of the way this stuff's playing, or how do you kind of get out of a run like this?
どのように評価されますか？立ち上がり初回はボールからツーシームを次のバッター投げたんですけど、ちょっと初回あまりツーシームうまく決まらず、長打を許してしまったんですけど、そこからは今日調子自体はすごく良かったので、しっかりいいコース狙って投げていくことができたので、結果的に7回いいピッチングできたと思います。
You know, because I gave up first, only walks, and after that, you know, because my two-seamer was, I did not have a good control on my two-seamer, but after that, as the game went on, you know, because I started getting settled in, and my stuff was pretty sharp.